Hello there. Usually I don't make videos in which I'm making things rush because I genuinely do not like it and I think that reduces the quality overall of the channel. However, I'm in a very difficult position because of the job and me finishing college and all of that. So I have to make it like this. And out of all of the things, there were a couple of different ones that I had ideas on. I was thinking about whether I should watch something from the previous season, whether I should watch something really old, but ultimately I decided that the best thing for both time and logical sense is talking about something new. And which better way to start talking about recent animes than with the most important of this season so far, which had Atelier. Now, Atelier was an anime that I had in my radar for a long time, ever since actually prior to the anime even being announced. I was kinda interested in the manga once I knew about the premise, and I wanted to read it, it's just that I didn't have time to do it. And afterwards they announced the anime and I decided to just wait until they actually finally release it, and here we are. Now usually with this type of shows, it is very difficult to fully evaluate them based on only what we have seen so far. Right now, which had Atelier at the point of recording, has only exactly 7 episodes, and as such, that is not a really high amount. That is barely over half of what is actually a regular season of a seasonal anime. So I don't think that usually is very accurate. However, with Witch Hat, I think that we have seen more than enough to actually kind of understand how good the show is gonna be. And I have to be very honest, I obviously had high expectations before, but oh my god, this anime rocks. I'm gonna make just a short explanation of what is the main plot of the series, so if you do not want to hear about it because you haven't seen it and you want to watch it by yourself, just skip to this minute. If you do not care or you have already seen it, let's keep moving. Now the story is very simple, at least at first. The story follows a young girl called Coco. She is someone that is extremely optimistic, she is very cheerful and she loves everything related with magic. And to top of that, she wants to somehow be related with them, even though she knows that it is impossible. Until it is not. In reality, what happens is that her possibility of being a witch is not directly related with something like her inherent quality, but rather just because of circumstances. And those capacities is just being able to write a magical circle. And very early on we learn about all of this. We learn that the actual magical world is not that the wizards are blessed by the gods, but just lucky to know how these materials work, both the magical ink and how to use them for making magic. Sadly for her, she is not an expert on it, and as such, she doesn't know what are the possible dangers of magic. And because of one book that she had, she decided to try to copy one of the spells. And for her own demise, that spell was one of the prohibited spells that ultimately ended up destroying her house and immediately also paralyzing and freezing her mother on the spot. Now, after all this happens, a wizard called Kifri decides that there's something that has to be done. Whether it's doing something for her or against her is up to debate. But mainly, it's always impossible to allow a regular person to actually know about magic. So, he had to decide whether or not he should erase her memories. And because as you can see, this is an actual story and not a one-shot, he decides to take her as her new student. Now this type of premise is something that we have seen countless different times in several different pieces of media. The random someone does something very bad or something unavoidable, and he or she has to do something to amend his own or her own error. And in this case, it follows with the path of the old mentor as well, even though Kifri is very young and very handsome, but let's not talk about that. This story is very stereotypical, or at least not out of the ordinary at all. Not something that you would expect for a show that has so much hype. So why it has so much hype? And I will say it is because of everything else, basically. Now, this show absolutely slaps, and I would usually start with the negatives, but honestly, there's no negatives to speak with. I mean, we are only 7 episodes in. It's very difficult for you to have negatives if you are a good show. And unless it's something in a more subjective way, based on certain types of characters, you cannot say that anything is inherently wrong. And because the characters have not been long enough for me to say that the lack of character development is not guaranteed and not justified, I can only say that this show so far has no flaws. Now, for the positive parts, it's when, oh my god, this show slaps really hard. First, the animation. It's beautiful. I cannot even fully explain it in words. I just have to show it. I don't know even if YouTube is gonna allow me to do it. I will try it, but I'm hesitant that it will. I'm hoping that it does. It's just a gorgeous visual experience. Every single chapter, the way in which they portray magic and the magical stuff happening every single moment, the way in which they draw the characters, it's so beautiful. It's so great that I would personally not care at all if this was just a mostly visual type of show with not a lot of depth. I would genuinely not care if that was the case. But as I'm saying, it's just beautiful to watch. And I think that that is very good on its own. Now, the whole story is something that I cannot fully talk, but is good. It's just that because of what I already stated, that is very early, we cannot talk in detail about it. The story following basically not only the story of Coco, but rather you questioning and probably questioning really like, why this guy decided to save her and not just erase her memory? Plot convenience? Obviously, but it also has to do with the possibility of Coco being one of the main ways to actually find one of the most dangerous societies on this world. Something that I think that, is very normal as a plot, but it works good and it works solidly so far. But in a show that has only 7 episodes, we have to talk mainly about the characters. Yeah, I can talk about the animation once again because that's what shines the most, but the characters, oh my god, I think that they are very, very good. Most of the secondary characters do not have a lot of things to speak of so far. I love the pink hair girl. I already forgot her name and I just finished the chapter like 10 minutes ago. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. But she is kinda cute and kinda cool. The other girl I think that is hilarious, the blue hair one. And the main character of the secondaries is Cicely Agate. I do not like her personally, but I think that she is gonna quickly turn into one of the better characters. She has a lot of things clearly attacking her personally on her inside. Obviously, something is wrong with her. We do not know what nor why, but something is happening with her. And as such, she is suffering, and she kinda wants the others to suffer in one way or another. She's kind of a bully. That's why I do not like her. She is very mean to Coco, the protagonist. But overall, I think that she is a good character. And now in chapter 7, we just saw something related with her backstory, so I think that she's gonna be cool. But yeah, that is something that happens, and as such, I cannot fully say that I personally like her. But soon, I think that that definitely will change. Next, we have the second main character of the story, which is Kifri, the actual wizard that decided to be the teacher or the master. I don't know how is the word in English. Is the sensei, you know what I mean. But being the sensei of Coco. Now, he is amazing to look at. Like, just straight up, look at him. He's so pretty. Yeah, I want him. He is very good looking, but he's also very charismatic, and it's obvious that he knows what he's talking about. He is a type of sensei that I genuinely like. He is kinda like a pseudo Gojo-esque in the way that he actually treats so good every single one of the students, but he is more of a teacher, more of an actual figure than what Gojo is for most of his own story. And you know what, I'm making the comparison with Gojo because, like, it's obvious why I'm doing it, right? Now, Kifri is the most interesting character so far, definitely because of what he's hiding. It's very obvious that he's hiding something really big. He has shown so far in the season multiple times that he's hiding something. We do not know what, we do not know why, we just know that he is hiding it, and that makes me feel like he is not fully trustworthy, actually. Now, I don't know if that is me being gaslighted at the idea that I somehow read something about it in Twitter prior to actually watching the show, or if it is just my own hunch. Regardless, I think that he is gonna do something bad at some point, and if that happens, I will give a headbutt to myself, I guess. But obviously, the main thing that makes this show shine is the main character, that is Coco. Oh my god, what a cute character. Overall, this show is actually really cute. I really love how they portray everything. Coco is a very inexperienced girl. She actually loves everything related with magic, as we already stated, but she knows very little about it. All of the other girls and all of the other characters, or most of the other characters we have seen, they are people that live it basically their whole lives knowing about magic. She is not, she is just a regular peasant. But it makes us feel the joy of actually learning new things, while us, the audience, actually learn with her. We learn a lot about the magic, which I think that is very cool alongside her. We learn how the magic circles work, we know how they can vary with just a small detail, and how they are certain fundamental pieces, yet there's also a lot of secondary ones that can actually enhance certain effects, which I really like. And there's also all of the things learning with her. She actually learns, she tries to amend her own mistakes, she tries to not be a burden to the others, while also wanting to advance and get closer to them. She is a scared girl because of what happened to her mother, but she is also decisive. She is not gonna let that whole thing push her down. She is gonna do everything what she can to actually help and save her mother. The way in which she makes everything shine around her, and how she shines with her own light, despite being the least expert of all of these girls. I really love her because of that. I think that even though these type of characters are not usually my thing, the cute, kinda clumsy type of characters are usually not my bread. I'm more of the extremely dumb type of characters, not actively just clumsy, but straight up detrimental to the others. I think that so far she has worked very well. She is in a very good balance between being not too knowledgeable enough for it to feel weird and out of place in this story, yet immature enough for it to feel both realistic but also kinda cute. Because as I'm saying, this show is really cute when you watch it. And oh my god, everything related with the magic is just, as I'm saying, beautiful. And the way that they portray the cuteness alongside the beautiful things, alongside the great animation, everything is so far very good. Now, I'm usually not a full-on glazer of different types of shows. I usually have to wait for a full season and everything in that full season being great for me to actually be able to jump on the rope. But I think that so far this has been a great experience, and because I do not have any more time to actually do anything else, because I'm like one day off of making this video and I have to also send some things from college. Oh my god, I want to die. With what we have seen so far, I think that this is gonna be one of those great animes, probably one of the, if not the best anime of the year, and one of the better animes for probably the first half of the 2020s. Wait, what do you mean that we are not in the first half of the 2020s? What do you mean that we are in the second one already? Oh god. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want more content like this talking about certain different seasonal animes, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. It not only helps the channel to grow, but it will make me very grateful to make every single one of these videos. And without anything else to explain, Once again, I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the bad quality, but I have to do it. Sorry. And see you next time. Bye.